Hello friends, I am Sukhdeep and this is my first video on Rust. Today we are going to discuss how to start working with Rust. So about the course overview, whole course is divided into three parts: beginner, intermediate and advanced. What all will be covered there will be left at your curiosity. However, of course, in the beginner part, we will start with the basic constructs of the language such as variables, controls, functions, etc. in an easy and step-by-step manner. Along the way, I would also be moving to the advanced or intermediate level related to variables or functions or whatever we will be going to discuss. And each section will also be concluded with a short or medium exercise to test our learning, and only requirement for me to have is a basic knowledge of programming. Yeah, of course. I am not going to discuss in detail like what is loop, how does computer works, how to execute a command, whatever it is. It's totally and purely related to Rust programming language. And for C++ people or C people, I might be providing a short comparison with C and C++. It doesn't mean that this language can only be understood by a C++ programmer. Anyone with a interest, with a passion, who want to learn Rust, this would be a perfect start. And I also assume that you would have a basic familiarity with command line environments like how to interact with a Linux shell or Mac OS terminal or Windows command prompt, whatever operating system you are using. Even if I would be explaining things related to command line wherever required, but still I think it would be helpful to you in case you are stuck somewhere. And every chapter is based on the material discussed in the previous chapters. So yeah, of course, I would strongly recommend you to follow me in a step-by-step manner from beginning to end without skipping any discussion if you are new to Rust. Just let me know what you want me to cover related to Rust and I would do my best to cover those topics. But first, we will start with the standard Rust programming language. And I would be sharing all the code through GitHub. So definitely you can go to my GitHub page, you can check for the relevant code, you can download it, you can copy it, you can modify it, whatever way you want to do. And apart from this, it's not just video. If you want or if you like to read the text, then I would also be providing link to the article in the description where you can go on my website and you can read the article, you can try whatever way you want. So this was about the course overview. If you are interested to know about me, then I am a software architect. I worked as a team lead and instructor for more than 17 years, and I worked with projects related to embedded systems, network protocols, satellite communication, autonomous cars and crypto trading. And in my spare time, I enjoy writing articles, making videos, vlogs, whether it is related to technical things or my travels. Yeah, so from this yeah, I really enjoy traveling and horse riding a lot also. Technical part. Now back to technical part. We are going to set up our environment. To follow along with this series, obviously we need a system with proper setup, a system where we can run and test our learning, our programs, whatever we are going to write. And of course, my system of choice is Linux, but I will also show you how to set up on Windows, and for Mac, steps are almost similar to Windows. So let us move to installing Rust compiler. Of course, there are various ways to install Rust on your system, but we are going to focus on the recommended way, that is via rustup. Actually, it's a command line tool for managing Rust versions and associated tools. Just copy this command to your terminal and then execute it from there. Run this command. It will download it, it will start installing. Press option number 1, which is default way to install it. If you want to customize it, then you can go with second option. But in my case, as I told you, that it's already installed, so I am going to cancel it, but process is simple. And if you are on Windows, then just go to Rust website, download it from there. But before that, you also need to install your Visual Studio C++ build toolchain. Without it, it will not be able to work. Build tools for Visual Studio 2022. Download it and then simple installation. Once you are done with your installation for build tools, you can go to Rust website, and from here you can download your respective executable file. If you are running on a 32-bit system or on 64-bit system, download it, install it, and then it should work perfectly fine. Once you are done with your installation, go back to your terminal and try to run this command. It will simply print the current version of Rust which you are using, and if you are getting something similar, then it means Rust is installed properly. And if you are facing some problem in running this command, then it means something wrong is with your system. Go back to where we start installing this, follow the steps, and if you are still facing some problem, then please just let me know with your comments. So let us go back to our slides. Now next step is to install a text editor. My choice of editor is Visual Studio Code. It is available on Windows, Linux, and I will say pretty much on all distros. And to install it, simply go back to Visual Studio Code website, download it from there for your operating system, and installation is straightforward. So this is their website. Just download for your operating system, and after downloading, installation step is simple, straightforward. Once editor is installed, open it, go to extensions tab and search for Rust Analyzer and install it. So now this is installed. Now your editor is ready to use for Rust programming or Rust development. Now our next step is to install really a wonderful tool. Actually, thing is that whenever any change is made to your program, you need to recompile it and run it. Sometimes this looks really very boring and frustrating task, especially when changes made are very small and frequent. And this is when Cargo Watch comes to your rescue. What it does? Cargo Watch monitors your source code to trigger commands every time a file changes. To install it, just simply run this command, cargo install cargo watch. For my setup, it's already done. And run cargo check whenever a file is changed. It will run cargo check after every code change. It will read your changes. It will trigger the compilation process, and that too by itself. This way, you will not be required to compile and run the program every time. If you want to run cargo only when test changes, then you can use this command, cargo watch, with option -x and test. Test is that run this command only when your test changes. You can also chain multiple subcommands in a single command, also again with -x option. Actually what it is trying to do, this command will first execute cargo check, and if this passes, then it will run cargo test. If that also passes, then finally it will be running cargo run command. And to pass any command line arguments to your cargo run command, you can simply put them in single quotes, just like you can see cargo watch with option -x, and this is a run command, and we are passing command line arguments. But yeah, there is one thing to note down, that all the command line arguments should be specified after double hyphens. So now this is a time to test our setup. Actually we already tested our setup with rust c -version command. Yeah, this is the command to test, but now we are going to test our system by writing a simple program, or you can say now we are going to test it programmatically. And most common way to write a Rust program is by running cargo new project name. We will not be discussing any details on this command right now. Even the program which we are going to write, we are not going to discuss that in detail. Our target is to just test the setup programmatically. Let us go back to our terminal and then run this command, cargo new and then hello world. So this will be our project name. It will create a directory with the same name, cd hello world. If you want to see the content of this directory, there are two items in this. One is cargo2ml, another is source directory. If you want to see what is inside source directory, it's main.rs. Let us open this in our code editor. And now let's go to the main file. It is simply trying to print a hello world statement on your terminal. So let us close this editor and now run this program. To run it, enter this command, cargo build, or you can also run cargo run command, it will build your program and then it will also run. So here you can see that it is printing hello world. There was not any compilation issue, there was not any running issue, everything was smooth. So we already discussed this program. We already discussed these steps also. I am going to skip this. And now there is another very interesting tool, that is Clippy. Actually, it's a very popular linting tool to write better Rust programs. Most of you might be aware what are linting tools. It catches your common mistakes, inefficiencies in your code, and it is always, I will always advise you to run this tool regularly on your code. So to set it up, again, just like cargo watch, you can use rust-up command. It will set it up for Clippy. Once it's ready, you can run it on your project as cargo Clippy. We are not going to discuss it now, but yeah, just note this command. You are definitely going to use. And of course, you can also add this tool in your build pipelines. For this, just add this simple statement in your CI/CD pipeline configuration. Now, whenever Clippy sees something wrong with your code, build pipeline will simply fail. So now let us test Clippy. If you are really curious to know how Clippy is going to help you, then first let us copy this command and now go back to your terminal, open code editor again. Replace this code with the code we copied. It is simply trying to print the value of pi. And there is nothing wrong with this program. If you will try to build it, if you will try to run it, this will be perfectly fine. Now let us run this. No compilation issue was reported, no running issue, and it was able to print this value successfully. But do you think there is nothing wrong with this program? Yeah, it looks perfectly fine. But if you run cargo Clippy, the tool which we just installed, let us see what it is saying about your program. See, it is throwing you an error. It is trying to say that it is better to use the standard variable f32 const pi, and you are trying to redefine it. So it is always better you should use this. So let us go back to our program, and instead of this, I will be writing this const pi. Our error should be gone here. Back to our terminal and try again. See, now Clippy is also giving you a flag that there is nothing wrong. Or you run the program again, it's perfectly fine, but it is also giving you more accurate value, and you don't need to define this variable or constant. So this is how Clippy is helping you to write a better program. Now moving to the next topic, it's about Rust formatting. And who doesn't know the importance of a nicely formatted code? They are always easy to read and understand. It also helps you in better code reviews, as reviewers don't have to pay attention to the nitty-gritty details of code formatting. And that's why companies also have so many guidelines and tools which make you write a properly formatted code. Rust also come up with such tool, and its name is rustfmt or Rust format. Just like Clippy, Rust format is included in the set of default components installed by Rust-up. If missing, then you can easily install it with Rust component add rustfmt. You can format your project with cargo fmt command. If you want to set up your build pipelines as a formatting step, you can add this statement in your pipeline configuration. It will fail when a commit contains unformatted code, printing the difference to the console. This is our last topic of our today's discussion, code coverage setup. If you know the importance of unit testing, then I am sure you also know the importance of code coverage. It helps you to understand how much of your source code is tested, and it's a very useful metric that can help you assess the quality of your test suite. The easiest way to measure code coverage of Rust project is via cargo tarpaulin. You can install tarpaulin with cargo install cargo tarpaulin. To check coverage on your project, just run cargo tarpaulin -v command or -v. Above command or the given command will test coverage of your application code, ignoring your test functions. I also have some few topics which I am not going to cover, but if you need this, then you can refer the article which I am going to share in my video description. Another one is faster linking setup if you want to improve your code compilation time. And in the last, so here I am trying to summarize what we discussed today. We discussed how to install Rust on your operating system, whether it is Linux or Windows or Mac. We also discussed how to test or how to verify whether Rust is set up properly, it's working fine or not. And we also talked about setting up linter, code formatter to make our program look better, work better, more efficient. So, with all of this, I am going to conclude our today's discussion, and I hope this was able to help you to set up Rust on your operating system. If you have any feedback, queries, or suggestions, please feel free to reach out to me. And next, I will be coming up with another topic. Till then, take care. Bye bye.